One Night Stand Horror Series, Episode 2. I should have left when I had the chance, but a kiss from her against my neck and some nasty words she whispered into my ears made me lost the battle, and I paid dearly for it. That night started off like something out of a movie, not the romantic kind. The kind where you only realize you're in trouble when it's too late to get out. Her name was Tasha. She was gorgeous, bold, had that commanding presence. Met her at the club. The way she looked at me made it feel like I was being chosen. Like I didn't just get lucky, I got hunted. We danced, drank, flirted. It was loud, bodies pressed together, but even then, something felt off. Maybe it was the way her eyes kept darting to the door or looking round the room as if she was looking for a familiar face. But I ignored it. Told myself I was overthinking it. We went back to her place after drinks. Her house sat in a quiet, tucked-away neighborhood, too peaceful to raise any red flags. The apartment was big, clean, too clean. No family photos, no signs of a life shared. She claimed she lived alone. I believed her. That night, everything was perfect, or so it seemed. We talked, we laughed, we got intimate, passionate, intense. She was wild, like she was trying to drown something out with every touch, and we both enjoyed every bit of it. I remember lying there, thinking maybe this could be something more, that maybe I wasn't just another warm body in a cold bed. Then she started talking about her ex. She didn't say much at first, just mentioned that they weren't exactly done, more like in a complicated situation. Said he was the obsessive jealous type, said he had guys, that she didn't want any drama but also didn't want to be alone. That's when I wanted to leave, and that is when I should have actually left. But she had asked me to stay, and just like that, my silly ass did stayed. We passed out, bodies tangled in borrowed comfort. But sometime deep into the night, I was ripped awake by a loud, frantic banging on the front door. She sat up instantly, but didn't speak. I whispered, "Who the hell is that?" She didn't answer. Instead, she slowly pressed a finger to her lips, then her hand over my mouth. I could barely make out her expression in the dim light, but it wasn't fear. It was control, calculating, almost like she'd expected this. Her eyes shifted toward the noise, and her posture tensed like she was listening to more than just banging, like she was waiting for the next move. Footsteps circled the house. I held my breath. Whoever it was, they weren't exactly stealthy, but they were trying. Sneaky, cautious. Then the steps stopped right outside the bedroom window. I could hear the subtle jostling of the frame, like they were testing it. She got up, slow, confused maybe, but not scared. Her face twisted into something I didn't recognize, not panic, not dread, just this tired frustration, like, not again. That's when it hit me. This wasn't random. Could this be the jealous ex she was talking about? For one thing was obvious, she knew who the intruder was. And just like that, the banging resumed, but harder this time. Violent, directly at our window. The intruder must have seen her reflection when she stood up from the bed. I nearly jumped out of my skin. Then came the voice. "Tasha, I know you're there. I know you can hear me, you I know a man is with you. I swear to God I'll mess you up." The blood drained from my face. The rage in that voice was thick, like tar boiling under his words. He kept yelling, "You left me for this? This is why? So you could sleep around in my hood." That's when I confirmed it wasn't just any person as I had suspected earlier. It was her ex, her psycho ex. I looked at her. She was already walking toward the living room. No rush, no panic. just firm steps. I thought it was to get her phone because our clothes and our phones were back in the living room, where we had ripped them off each other before she dragged me into the bedroom. She came back. She paused near the window, phone in hand. Then she shouted back, calm but cutting, "Jack, I swear to God I'll mess you up. One more bang and I'm calling the cops. You try breaking in, I will light you up. I swear on my mom's grave." Light him up? Was she bluffing? Or was she armed? I couldn't see her hands clearly because it was still dark in the room. I only saw her phone screen light to know she had retrieved her phone. And why was she threatening him with calling the cops? Was that not what she should do immediately she got her phone? Now I was sweating bullets, and still naked. Here I was, trapped in a stranger's house, half naked, without a phone, and possibly seconds away from being murdered by a psycho who was now calling my death sentence out loud. The ex shouted again, "Is he worth it, after everything we went through?" "This is how you end it," she snapped back. "You should have kept in your pants, Jack. Can't handle being replaced, huh?" The venom in her voice was sharp, but I couldn't help thinking, was I just a rebound? A pawn to piss him off? Because if she knew he was capable of this and still brought me here and asked me to stay. Then the banging switched locations to the living room window. Something heavy like metal or a brick slammed repeatedly into the glass. I flinched, my body locked up with fear. This wasn't just jealousy anymore. It was obsession. It was escalation. He was gonna break in. And me? I'm not a fighter. I've never even been in a street fight. I didn't know if I could survive a fist fight, let alone defend myself from a guy who might be armed. I whispered, "We need to call the police." She didn't answer me. Instead, she paced the room again, breathing hard, then went back to the living room. For a split second, I wanted to follow her so as to get my clothes and phone and call the cops. But a thought came to my mind. The living room wasn't as dim as the room, and if the ex was at the living room window, he would see me clearly. So I decided to stay back. That's when I heard her shout, "Jack, don't make me call the cops. If they take you in this time, you know you're gone for good. 5 minutes. Leave or I make the call." Wait, that's why she wasn't calling the cops. She didn't want him arrested. I was dumbfounded. Was my life worth less than protecting this lunatic's rap sheet? Then he shouted again, cold, calculated, loud enough to make the walls shiver. "Hey man, I know you're in there. Keep hiding. But if I see you, I'll end you. Gladly." I froze. He knew I was there but wasn't in the living room with her. He might have even had eyes on me the whole time. If I'd gone to the living room to get my phone just moments ago, he could have shot me. My legs buckled. I crouched near the bedroom doorway, watching the hallway like a hunted animal. Then his voice changed. He wasn't screaming anymore. He was crying, but not the kind of crying that makes you feel sorry, the kind that makes your stomach twist. Then said something along the lines of how I would feel if the only woman I ever loved brought some dude to my neighborhood right after breaking my heart. He said he gave up everything for her. His life got ruined for her. Ruined? What did he mean by his life got ruined for her? What did he do for her? Then she fired back a response of how he chased everything in a skirt. He's an obsessed hypocrite and a damn cheat. Told him his 5 minutes was up. He wouldn't let her win, snapped back at her about that being the only flaw he had, and she knew he was doing his best to fix it. Said he didn't ask to be an addict, and aside from that, she should mention one other flaw of his. She only hissed back, "Your time is up, Jack." His reply was ice cold. "Hey guy, your life is mine, and I will take it. Enjoy it while you can." Then, silence. His footsteps faded away. I sat there, trembling, stuck between a woman who wouldn't call the cops and a man who swore to kill me. And that's when she came back to the bedroom like nothing had happened. "Whew," she said with a half laugh. "Can't believe all that just happened. Let's go back to bed." What? No apology, no explanation, just bed? I was speechless. I started creeping toward the living room to finally grab my phone, but she stepped in front of me. "I swear he won't come back. And just so we're clear, you're not calling the cops. We had a deal. I warned him. He left. That's it." I stared at her, my voice finally breaking out of its prison. "Your life is your business. You want to gamble with it, fine. But don't drag me into this. I'm an only child. If I die, my mom won't survive the shock." She blinked like she was surprised I could talk. Then she muttered, "I didn't think he'd show up here." Her voice softened. "I'll protect you." I almost laughed until I saw her reach behind her back and pull out a pistol. She was armed this whole time. But the real kicker, she still didn't want me calling the cops. I didn't trust her anymore. This wasn't some "I've got your back" situation. This was "you're collateral damage in my toxic love story." So I told her I needed to leave. She snapped. "You want to leave now? After what he said about killing you? Are you even aware he could still be out there? Go ahead then. Be my guest," I yelled. "So you know he wasn't bluffing? You know he could be outside waiting and you still won't call the police? What the hell is wrong with you?" Now she was raging. "All you talk about is cops. You think that solves anything? If they arrest him, what about his guys? You think you'll just go on and live happily ever after?" Guys? Now she was either telling me he was a gang member or warning me that getting him arrested would come with deadly strings attached. I was officially out of my depth. She promised she'd drop me at work in the morning, make sure I got there safe. Whatever. I nodded, not because I trusted her, but because I didn't want to set her off. We laid back down, but I didn't sleep, and I sure as hell didn't close my eyes. Early morning, we started getting ready to leave the house. We got dressed. In the bathroom, she tried to flirt, tried to touch me, but my body didn't respond. Nothing did. We tried to leave, got to her car, but another vehicle had parked us in, tight and deliberate. She froze, whispered, "Oh, damn." My instincts screamed at me, and I knew. I just knew. Before I could even think, he emerged from the driver's seat, like a demon rising from the dark. Her ex, built like a brick wall, eyes bloodshot and cold. He pulled out a gun. I didn't wait. I ran, didn't think, didn't look back, just ran. He chased me, boots pounding the pavement. And I swear I felt death breathing down my neck. I rounded the building, hoping to lose him. Dead end. Brick wall. Heard him take a step forward, voice low and mocking. "Turn around, Mr. I." In every man's woman. I raised my hands. I turned slowly, hands up, gasping, desperate. And he was there. Gun raised. Tasha was gone. His face was hollow, puffy from whatever cocktail of substances he'd taken. His stare told me everything I needed to know. This man had already made peace with killing someone. He was going to shoot me. "You enjoy it?" he asked. His voice didn't even crack. I dropped to my knees, started sobbing, begging. Told him I didn't know she was taken. Told him it was a one-night stand, that I just met her, that I didn't mean any harm, that I had a mom, that I was an only child. Didn't flinch, didn't care. "Now you know she's taken," he said, cocking the gun. "When you meet my grandma, tell her I miss her." I thought of my mother, of how we hadn't spoken in weeks, of how I'd been too proud to call her back after our last fight. I pictured her crying over my body, not even knowing what happened. That image broke me. And then, Another click. Behind him. "Don't do it, Jack." Her voice. She was there, gun in hand, aimed right at his skull. "I'll blow your head off," she said, calm as hell. "Just turn around." He didn't flinch, didn't lower the gun, just stared at me with murder in his eyes. Then finally, he turned. Now they both had guns pointed at each other. It was like watching two volcanoes ready to erupt. "You'd kill me for this?" he asked, laughing bitterly. "For some random dude? Was the sex that good?" She didn't even blink. He asked if I was single. I told him yes. "I picked him up last night, Jack. He's a stranger. Unlike you, he didn't betray me." That hit him hard. His hand wavered just slightly. He turned to look at me again. I saw the fury boil back up. I shrank further. I kept crying, still on my knees, whispering apologies, swearing I didn't know, swearing I'd never do this again. I didn't care how pathetic I looked. I just wanted to live. The standoff dragged. She told me to get in the car. He shouted, "He's going nowhere." She snapped, swore on her mom's grave that I was innocent, lied to him that I had told her not to call the cops even after she told me he was crazy. She was lying, protecting me. He looked at me, eyes full of hate. I nodded furiously, backing up her story. Then he gave a short nod. Let me go. I climbed into the car, hands trembling, mind racing. Every second felt like it might be my last. I kept thinking about his guys. What if they were nearby? She shouted at me to stay in the car. I obeyed. From the car, I could still hear them arguing. He begged her to stay, said he was trying, that he'd done therapy, that she promised to walk this road with him, that she owed him. How he did unspeakable things for her. Unspeakable things, I thought. What did he even mean by that? My blood ran cold. What the hell had I walked into? She didn't budge. She told him she wouldn't shoot, but if he wanted her dead, now was the time. Otherwise, she had work to get to, and when she comes back from work, they would discuss everything. He asked for a hug. I couldn't tell if she gave it, but I heard her voice again, dismissive and cold. "Get off my property and move your stupid car." When they returned side by side, I could tell this wasn't over for them. They fed off each other's chaos, thrived in it. The ex gave me a final glare before doing that creepy finger gesture. 2 fingers to his eyes, then pointing at me. Like a promise. "I'm watching you." He drove off. I could finally breathe. Still, paranoia clawed at me. I told her to stop by a random tall office building nearby, lied that I worked there. She squinted. "Didn't you say your work was the other direction?" I mumbled something about her mishearing me. I could tell she didn't buy it, but she didn't press. As I was about to leave, she grabbed my hand. "I know this has been a lot," she said, "but what you did to my body last night, I've never felt anything like that before. Even if just once more, I'd like to see you again. Your place or a hotel. Not mine." I nodded. She asked for my number. I took hers instead. Didn't give mine. Told her I'd call once I settled in. She seemed unsure, said I sounded angry. I told her I was just shaken. She bought it, insisted on a kiss before I left. I gave it to her. Then she waited, watched, like she didn't believe I actually worked there. So I squared my shoulders and walked into the building. Had no clue what they did inside. Wandered for a while, then slipped out the back. Paranoia had me tight in its grip. Took the long way home. Through crowds, through busy intersections, through side streets and open markets. Anywhere that made it harder for someone to follow. Only when I was sure I wasn't being watched. Did I go home? Locked my door, grabbed a bottle, sat in the tub. Then I cried. Cried like a man who saw his own death twice in one night and somehow lived to remember it. I kept thinking, what if I had gone to get my phone? What if I'd walked outside earlier? What if she hadn't arrived in time? He would have shot me, and all my mother would have gotten was a call about her son, dead in some stranger's driveway. We hadn't even spoken in a while. I took my phone, deleted her silly number. Then I called my mom, told her I wanted to visit, told her I loved her, that she couldn't possibly guess how much. There was silence. Then she said, "I love you more than life itself." We ended the call, and I sat there thinking, why do some women love dangerous men? Why does toxic love look like passion to some people? I made a promise to myself that day. No more one-night stands, and I'd never, ever sleep over at a woman's place I barely knew again. Because sometimes you don't just wake up in someone's bed. You wake up in someone else's war.